INEC chairman Professor Mahmood Yakubu. Professor Mahmood Yakubu, the chairman of INEC, Independent National Electoral Commission of Nigeria. Professor, sir, you should be ashamed of yourself. The INEC chairman and the entire INEC leadership, national commissioners, Rex, you should be thoroughly and severely ashamed of yourself and everything you represent. If this is the character and competence you bring to public office, if this is the way you conduct yourself as public office holders who should hold the trust of the Nigerian people, then you should be thoroughly ashamed of yourself. But you know what, in Professor Mahmood and your gang of leaders, Nigeria has been in existence before your tenure, and Nigeria will outlive your tenure. The question where you're supposed to ask yourself is, how much is your conscience? Is it really worth it for us to mortgage the future of more than 200 million people for self-gratification or financial aggrandizement? You must answer that question, INEC leadership. Professor Mahmood Yakubu, I am sending you this memo on behalf of all Nigerians, because you see 2027, Nigerians will fight for their own lives and destinies. For 2023, INEC, Professor Mahmood, Professor of Glitch, you collected hundreds of billions from Nigerian government to conduct one election. And you claim, you said that the game changer for that election would be electronic transmission of results, use of beavers and all of them. You go around this country, even with your voter education personnel, Barrister Festus Okoye, telling and lying to Nigerians that there is no going back on the use of electronic technology. But on the day of election, you said there was a glitch. There was a glitch, but you went ahead to announce election results in the middle of the night when human beings were sleeping. As if that is not enough, today, INEC, they decide which court order to obey and they want not to obey. To register new political party is almost a problem. It's completely a struggle. INEC, are you an independent electoral umpire, or you are the electoral arm of every ruling party? Professor Yakubu, what caused the glitch? What exactly is going on with INEC? Because we know say a lot they go on for that commission now. And because Nigerians fail to hold leaders accountable, you still they waka, they go Ghana, go South Africa. They claim to be an unbiased electoral umpire when you conducted what was called a criminal event in Nigeria in 2023. According to one AU observation group, they say what they come to do for Nigeria was not election monitoring. It was a crime watch. Professor Mahmood, you pretended a crime watch and announced results from that criminality that occurred in 2023. Nigerians are ready for INEC 2027. Anything where we say INEC una they prepare, Nigerians we say we they cook for una. Because you see this criminality, it will not be sustained. All of una were there for INEC staff where una they work for that commission. A lot of una know say a lot they go on there. You are people of character and integrity. You must speak up for yourselves and for the sake of this country. A lot they go on for the IT department and all of that. Everything where they go on with Sabio, INEC. If true you knew that you are sincere about electronic transmission of results, since after 2023 where the glitch occur, what have you done about the glitch? What caused the glitch? What are you doing with the National Assembly to fix results, to fix the laws to ensure there is mandatory transmission of results electronically and to protect your INEC server? What are the petitions you are submitting before the National Assembly? Oshilenshe INEC, Oriburuku Lenshe. But you see this 2027, this will not be about APC, PDP, Labour. It is more than 200 million victims of inhumanity and wickedness against a group of oppressors who are not willing to let us go. But we go know whether the power of the people and the people in power who should be greater. INEC, whatever it is, when they cook Nigerians, the most popular person we're supposed to do this country since after 2023 is supposed to be INEC chairman. We are supposed to have billboards all across this country asking Professor Mahmood waiting caused the glitch, what caused the glitch, and how we will not have further glitches. INEC, I am sending this memo because if we not hold you, Professor Mahmood, accountable, you go soon come out, but they go bring person where go even worse past you, but he go get the memo. By the time we hold you accountable and make you to account for what was given to you and how you conducted that election, the person will go come after you go get the memo. But if we say nothing, then we are going to excuse this level of criminality. I refuse to be a part of this sham called an electoral process. 2027, Nari Gandai. 2027, it is Nigerians against evil and a corrupt and criminal system. Nigeria will prevail. INEC, What caused the glitch? Professor Mahmood, what caused the glitch? What is going on in Inec? Are you for elections or you are the weapon fashion against Nigeria? We will find out. My name is Peter for Nigeria.
Inec, by our constitution, is an independent body. Inec is a very sensitive institution in the democracy affairs that is building democracy in Nigeria, especially as it affects elections, which is the fundamental aspect of governance. Some of us are worried because, in the first instance, Mr. President or any agency of the government, by our constitution, is not supposed to have anything to do with the building of Inec headquarters or procure equipment for Inec. Because in the Constitution, Section 158 of the Constitution, subsection 1, specifically guarantees the autonomy of Inec. And if you look at Section 81, subsection 3 of the Constitution, it even says that the funding of Inec should come from direct line charge to the consolidated revenue of the Federal Republic of Nigeria through the budget, through Inec's budget, which of course will be approved by the National Assembly. There's nowhere the presidency is mentioned in the Constitution as far as Inec infrastructure operational requirement is concerned, funding is concerned. And here we are, the president not only awarding the contract, but also appointing one of his agencies to supervise the building of the edifice. Well, we are worried because we have examples that tells us that care is not taken, that building is going to be bugged. And care is not taken, APC may sniff through some electronic devices that may be installed as the building is being erected on elections, and that would make our elections to be not fair, free, or credible. Examples are like what happened when African Union, that's AAU, wanted to erect its national headquarters in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, in 2012, I think it was. And China offered to do it for us free as a gift, as a way of enhancing and deepening the relationship between Africa and China. It was accepted, only to discover later that 5 years later, actually, in 2017, that the building was bugged, that the computers were actually reporting to Shanghai. I mean, the data and information on the computers that were installed in that building were reporting all information, all data on the operations and meetings, conferences, whatever, of the African leaders to China. There's another case that I think Mr. President should be concerned about, which is the Watergate in America in 1970. That is when President Nixon was the president of America as a Republican. The office, that is National Democratic Committee headquarters of the opposition party, the Democrats, was burgled. And it was later discovered that Nixon was the one that burgled the office, installed listening devices, which they were using to sniff on the operations and arrangements, whatever the opposition party was doing, towards the elections. So when the commission of inquiry was established and it was discovered that Nixon was behind it, he was forced to resign, and that in fact led to a lot of misfortunes for the party in that year. So the point I'm trying to make is that Mr. President does not need this. He doesn't need to expose himself to unnecessary ridicule and unnecessary crisis later in the day. So I'm calling on Mr. President, and in fact, I'm calling on Mahmoud Yakubu, that is the present chairman of Inec, to do the needful. Perhaps let him approach the National Assembly, let him write to the presidency that what the president is doing is unconstitutional, and it is not in the interest of democracy for a Democrat like Tinubu to do what they're about to do. That's not happening if there's no change in the way we're about to do. I mean, the way they're going about building that headquarters. Some of us will go to court, because even the contractors that are going to build that edifice are foreigners, which is also not acceptable, really. That's exposing us to unnecessary vagaries. That's our democracy. So we're calling on Mr. President, I'm calling on Inec to do the needful, the right thing. Otherwise, we will meet at the court.